Hello and welcome to first round coverage of the 2023 Highland Open. I am your host, Robert BobbyGitr Hansen. Special thanks to all the people who came and helped us set up. This is a temporary course at Highland Golf Course in Bloomington, Illinois. This is the front nine. Hole 1. 650 feet par 4. There is an out-of-bounds creek around the left and an out-of-bounds cart path on the right. Players are just going to want to split this hole in half, get about halfway up so they can attack the green. It is protected by a couple of trees, but it's a pretty reasonable birdie to try to get. Nice way to start off the round, just a couple long throws. So we see Aren Dow, our first to tee off. He's going with the big Annie, just trying to stay away from the out of bounds.
Shatter. Yep.
Next on our feature card today, we will have Nick Reliford. Nick Reliford, the 2021 champion. He's lefty, so this should set up well for him. He's just going to go big hyzer straight at the water. And that hooked back nicely. Next, Illinois hero Adrian Chevalier. I believe he won somewhere in the area of 20 tournaments this year. Going for a big smash. I think that's a little overturned for if he thought he was going to the green, but that'll end up in a pretty good area. And last but not least, Tad Carlson. Tad sponsored by Millennium Discs. I guess I should say Adrian is sponsored by Castoplast.
Oh no. All right, hard.
I think that's fine.
Forehand. I like this play.
There we go.
A little scary
Right
for a moment.
to
That
behind the
shot,
tree.
So far, all these up shots seem to be staying about circle's edge. Nice straight up shot from Aren. Finally, we'll have the approach shot from Adrian. He's throwing a Bergax here. Flipped it out. And that came in nicely. Tad will be first putt. Going for the birdie. Just a little off. First putt of the day can always be pretty tricky. That's a good distance to try to hit one from. Not always the easiest to make it from, as we see Nick pinned behind this tree. No problem, and that's a great way to start your round. Adrian capitalizes, and he'll be walking away with the birdie. And Aren as well. So we will head to hole 2. 3 of our 4 competitors walking away with the birdie on the first hole. Hole 2 is a 330-foot low-ceiling par 3. Actually pretty tricky. Most of these players can hit 330 no problem. But with the guardian tree there and the low-hanging branches off of the tee, it can be very hard to get all the way up the hill to the basket. It is on a very steep incline. Nice rip from Aren. And it's just fading out a little bit early. This is a tricky hole for a lefty. You could go lefty forehand. Nick is going lefty roller.
What do you think about the forehand roller there?
Camera didn't pick it up too great, but it's over around where we saw Aren end up. Nice from Adrian, and he's going to be about that same area. They're all going to be looking straight up at the basket. See if Tad can get a little bit closer. Looking good. But again, fading out. Generally, that's where discs get caught up on this hole. Either you fade a little early and you're looking up at the basket, or you overturn it and you're looking back at it from across the sidewalk over to the right. Here we have Tad trying for a birdie. Probably only about a 30-footer, but it is very steeply uphill. If you catch band, it's not unlikely for the disc to roll straight back at you. Good bit. Plenty of warmth on that putt, but didn't quite see if Adrian can correct on Tad's. Good bid, just a bit short. Save Nick. See if Aren can salvage the only birdie on the card. No such luck. Can we cut that footage, Bobby? Nick with the unfortunate spit out. He'll walk away with a bogey. We're going to watch everyone else pretty much just clean up par. Nobody's strayed too far from the basket. Nick finds himself back at even. Everyone else just moving on. Par 3, hole 3, 650 feet, par 4. Very downhill. The players are throwing from an elevated position. Hypothetically, it's an eagleable hole if you get a perfect smash. In 2021, Adrian almost put this in the circle. But there is out of bounds to the right, so if you overturn it, you do risk going OB. There are some trees here off the tee that force certain shot shapes, but there's still room. You can still go for a great amount of distance. And lining up. This looks like a nice toss.
Yeah, great shot.
So you can see on the ground, there is a little bit of frost. This is early November, so it was a fairly cold morning. The conditions weren't too bad. It was not very windy in the morning, though it did pick up as the day went. But the frost does make for some somewhat troublesome footing. So smooth out of Adrian. This is absolutely smashed. Kind of a weird color of disc, so it was hard to follow. But it is well up there.
Base of the trees there. It was okay, I guess.
Here we have Tad.
Ooh, that's too high. Come down off the
And this seems to be hyzering out a little early. It's not bad, but he's going to be over on that hill on the left, which does give some fairly unfortunate footing. It's very hard to just stand on the side of the hill and throw. Nick, I believe, going for the lefty roller again. Did not quite get it, and that is rolling straight out of bounds, but hooks up with about 2 feet to spare. So here's Nick for his second shot. Just didn't quite get the fade. He's probably about 35 short of the basket, but caught up in all that branch bramble and leaf nonsense over there. As we see Tad, here's that footing I was talking about. This is a tough shot. Don't tell Tad that as he throws it in. Nearly 300 feet. Going fairway driver, skip shot, straight into the bucket. No hesitation. Beautifully done by Tad.
You want me to clear that, or?
So we have Aren stepping up. Tad asking if he needs to clear the bucket.
Oh, do it.
Aren gave it a bid. Pretty close, pretty close. This was a C tier in Bloomington, Illinois. Very friendly card. Most of these guys have played with each other lots of times. Let me see where Adrian ended up.
I'm gonna bounce off that.
Definitely a shot at eagle from here. Well, we see 2 eagles on the card. Not quite, but was a good one. These guys all know each other very well. It's a very friendly card. Almost felt like a local league round or something like that. Everyone was in a really good mood, high spirits. Very fun card to play on, to film. Whew. Nick almost finally out of bounds. Does not save his birdie shot.
I didn't think I'd be able to get enough power to go over. He's almost birdie.
Adrian just going to tap in very quickly. Easy birdie.
Wait, Adrian?
Him and Tad find themselves tied at 2 down early on, though Tad getting his 2 down in a very different way. Aren left himself some work. Wanted the eagle, but he's going to have to settle for a par. Here we have Nick. He is in bounds. For newer players, you should note, if your disc is by the out of bounds, you still get a full meter of relief, even if you're not out. That way you can stand comfortably without your feet being out of bounds. Aren takes his par, and we move on to hole 4. This is the first must-get of the hole, I would say. 250 feet. It is an island hole, so you must pass this first sidewalk, but not pass to the second one. There is a drop zone for any drive that does not reach the island.
That's a sign that the wind is picking
You
up.
see some beautiful fall foliage, leaves falling through the air. In this shot, you can really see the frost in the background as well. Tad after his eagle. Back-to-back eagles. Goes for the hyzer play.
Oh yeah, never doubted.
And he gets just barely in bounds. He'll have about a 30-footer for his birdie. Adrian also going this hyzer route. You can really attack this hole any way you want to. There's a hyzer, there's a forehand, there's a straight at it.
Yeah, good shot. Oh. Yeah, good little tree
And
jump.
this is just parked out of Adrian. Again with his Berg X. Aren loves this straight putter shot. He threw it a ton in 2021. This time it leaked a little right. He'll have a jumper for 2. And Nick going the lefty forehand. It surprises me he doesn't go the backhand hyzer on the left side. And this is stood up.
Applies like my tactics.
I believe that was a tactic, but a very beat-in tactic. And it just did not work its way back. He'll be putting from the drop zone. Solid bid. That's looking like bogey at best for Nick. Aren. Well to the right of the basket.
Yeah, you're out.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Nothing doing on this one. And here we have Tad. Tad's had a little bit of putting woes to start off with. See if he can clean it up. From about 30 feet. No such luck, but that does check up. Stays in bounds.
That's my standard putt.
I'm familiar.
Nick cleaning up the bogey. No problem.
That's putt.
At least your putt's like prettier than that one.
Yeah, I don't usually completely miss the basket. It just doesn't get there.
Adrian. Tap in, too. Tad A little bit of a tester. Probably about 18, 20 feet. Little low, little left, but it's in. That's all that matters on the scorecard. Tad walks away with a par. Always feels good to make a putt. Maybe that'll get him rolling, and we find ourselves on hole 5, 420 feet, steeply uphill. This is a hard hole to reach. I believe it was only birdied once or twice last time. This time I believe we have a slight headwind in our faces, which makes getting the huge distance up the hill even harder. There's an out-of-bounds golf fairway all along the right side and on the left side, though the left side is much harder to get to. The right side, any turned over drive, basically gets gobbled up by the out-of-bounds. Adrian giving it a smash. And it comes up just a little bit short, but that's pretty far up there.
I made a putt outside of 30 all you.
I made a putt inside 30 all you.
Nice.
Yeah, just putting it up nice and safe.
You own the make out.
Not really birdie territory
My
there,
22% is 80 and my inside is 20. It's like
but should be pretty easy par. Looking like about the same thing out of Aren. Just not getting risky, staying safe. Nick is lining up a lefty roller again.
Oh, you good?
A little bit of a slip, a little bit of a fall. And that never even had a chance. He's going to be taking that from way down the fairway. Little replay. This isn't to give Nick a hard time, just so much to see. He did take a bit of a fall there. I don't think he got hurt or anything like that. With the slippery grass, if you fall, it's not going to be easy to make a roller do what you want. He's got at least 350 feet left, and he's going roller again.
I mean, I got a few that are really.
This time gets the turn, maybe too much. He's going to be well short. He's going to have ended up right about where Tad and Aren are. So he'll have a long look to save his bogey.
Get in.
Nice up from Tad.
Listen, one eagle is enough. I rationed it.
Yeah, no, you need an eagle with a putter and mid-aim addition.
That's bad in the cycle.
Aren tries to give it a bid. Works out as a decent upshot. Nick tosses it up there, but nothing doing from that far back. Here's Adrian with our best look for birdie. About 45.
Good effort.
Gives it a bid, does not sink it. We'll be walking away with a bunch of pars and one double bogey. Nick forgot his first out of bounds. And this is the kind of shenanigans you'll see on a local C tier when people know each other. Just having a good time.
It disappeared somehow.
The old missing disc trick.
I'll skip the hole. 4 plus 4 is probably what I'll take anyway.
Despite Tad's best effort, Nick finds it and he'll be tapping out. And we'll be moving on. Hole 6, 200 feet. Of the short holes on the course, this is maybe the most technical. There's a double mando, low ceiling, a forehand out on the left side, or a putter straight down the middle is probably the best play. There is an out-of-bounds sidewalk and an out-of-bounds creek. So players are forced to hit a very specific target. while the hole seems pretty easy, if you don't get the height quite right, you won't make it all the way down. And if you throw too fast a disc, you'll go flying to the OB. So Adrian showed us what a little too high looks like.
Well, that might have gone long anyways.
Tad showed us just about
you're good.
perfect. He caught a little bit of a branch, but that's just fine. Aren, also just a little too high. And Nick going lefty forehand. I believe this is that tactic again.
Ooh. Dang, that was pretty big.
And that's just beautiful.
Emperor.
Just enough tree to
The Emperor's
slow him
new
down.
crew.
I think it would have been a good shot either way. So now Adrian has to make a choice. Do you run this with the OB right behind? He says, no way. Smart play. No reason to take a bogey when you're already jumping out 3 under. Aren has the same mindset. So here we have Tad. Still early in the game. That'll
Nice
tie
two.
it up at 3 down. Nick for the birdie. And that always feels good, just getting a quick birdie after a double bogey. Takes a little pressure off, especially when you see the leader walking away with the par. And we'll move on to the easiest hole on the course, hole 7, 240 feet downhill. This hole was included as kind of a fun hole for players who had played previous layouts but wanted a downhill throw. So this hole
Special
is
prize if you skip
very
off a hedge apple.
downhill.
Split one down the middle. Just in general.
You can do pretty much anything.
And it goes in.
The only issue
If you cut
is
one
that
in
this
half,
year,
also a
for
prize.
whatever reason, a slew of hedge apples had fallen everywhere. So it's a tremendous slip hazard, a tremendous disc hazard. As Tad finds himself right amongst the hedge apples,
Never heard that joke before.
also known as the Osage orange. I don't want to have anyone correcting me in the comments for that. I believe you can call it either hedge apple or Osage. Nick, forehand doesn't quite come back. I'm thinking he almost may need a new tactic because that's not been fading for him as much as he's hoping so far this round. Adrian, I'm not quite sure what he's throwing here, but he throws Bergs and Ricos a lot. He just parks it right under the basket.
That's no good one for you.
Beautiful shot from Adrian. Aren just maybe a bit of an early release, friendly hedge apple kick. And Nick, tricky putt behind the tree. Keeps finding himself behind trees. But that'll be a
Great putt.
birdie. Quickly wipes the double bogey off his card with back-to-back birds. Maybe he should putt behind a tree every time. Aren. That's been a few misses out of him. If you go back and watch 2021 footage, it felt like he was making nearly everything, but so far it's a bit of a rough start. As you can see, Tad having a little difficulty clearing up a place to stand. Sets up. And that'll be a birdie for Tad. Carlson and Chevalier remain tied through 7. Aren taps out, takes his par. He'll be the lone par on the hole today. As we see a little bonus footage. All these guys just having a good time today. For many players, this would be a last tournament of the season type of situation. Hole 8, 340 foot. Kind of a big forehand. The basket is well up the hill, so it does play a bit more than 340. Though, players are actually teeing off from a similar altitude. Players are teeing off from a similar height. The hole does go down and then back up. You really just have to get around this big guardian tree in the middle, which forces the shot shape.
It's not that bad. It's too high.
Tad's just a little bit high on this one.
It's short, right? Yeah, you're probably 40, 50.
Yep. Not good.
Nick the lefty, again, this should set up pretty well for him. There have not been too many holes thus far that were just a lefty hyzer. Pretty close.
That looked pretty good.
It went right behind the basket.
You might even be like just a touch long.
I definitely landed behind the basket and skip.
Adrian, known to have a pretty wicked forehand. That one also might be a little too high. I believe he ends up long right. There. I always try to leave the camera filming for Aren. He does tend to play pretty quickly. It was a little overturned, so he's short down on the hill. Long up shot. Tried to give it a bid. Not too bad. Easy par. Tad Carlson for the birdie. Kind of lifts it again. So now we have a chance for Adrian. Try to take the outright lead. No going. Oh, Nick, I wanted that for him. That would have been pretty amazing, find himself at +3 and then fight all the way back to even that quickly in 3 straight holes. But it's looking like we're just going to have a whole bunch of pars to end up. No splash out this time. Adrian and Aren are just going to drop in. We move to hole 9. One of the 4 most difficult holes on this course, also one of my favorites. This is a double Mando, low ceiling, but unlike the last 200-foot hole, this is about 340 feet. Again, there's a creek behind the basket. There's an OB sidewalk on the left side of the fairway. You don't really want to end up over there anyway, but the real key is beating the ceiling, beating this double Mando, and then just sailing to the basket.
Yep.
Tad's a little overturned there. You can see the AM Division's tee pad up about 80 feet in front of the long pad.
Ooh, straightened it out.
Nick gets a nice little redirection, makes the Mando. So for the AM Divisions, there's a very manageable double Mando. For the Pro Division, it's about 150, 250 feet to even get to the Mando.
Oh, it just skipped
As
like
Adrian
way down there.
gets some
good.
kind of crazy luck, skip from way over by the sidewalk.
It's woo!
Aren with
Keep
a
going.
huge redirect.
Is that it?
And so we'll find the only one missing the Mando is going to be Tad. So this will be his drop zone look for par. And that is a beautiful shot. If you end up on a drop zone and you can just put your next shot under the basket, that's ideal.
Get it.
Nick Reliford from downtown. Let's see this one again. Huge putt. And like I was saying the hole before, just like that, he has climbed his way back to even par on the day. Some momentum going at this point. That's got to feel really good. Aren trying to do the same thing. Oh, he just ricochets straight off the top. Finds himself out of bounds. Adrian skipped all the way to here. He'll take up birdie. So there's going to be a 2-stroke swing. Carlson tapping in the bogey. And just like that, we've got Adrian at 5 down.
That's exactly what
Tad
I
at
like.
3 down.
Between the, yeah, right there.
Aren just tapping in his bogey from here, likely. And that's all you've got for the front 9. Please join us for back 9 coverage. We'll see what happens. The back 9 is an awesome showcase of par 4s and long bomber holes, and we hope to see you there.